require making a striking, provocative connection with the consumer. Another approach is to take what has already worked, to take what someone has already done and already proven successful and mirror that, to model yourself on that. There's a huge quantity, so I don't need to name any names. We're all aware of something succeeds, you slightly modify it, and that will also succeed. And that is very valid, and I completely support it, and I have respect for anybody who goes down that road. What it comes down to is what matters to you. And this, I've had a conversation with folks all the time about. The other day I went to Canada, I was touring there on a solo tour, and got picked up in the airport in a town called Edmonton by a young man who was playing in one of the opening bands. He gave me a ride to the hotel, and he said, "You know, Andrew, I've invested $10,000 in my band. We're sort of a heavy metal band, and I just want your advice on what we can do to make it." I said, "Well, how do you know when you made it? What defines making it to you?" And he said, "You know, just really making it, when you're making a living, when you're famous, when you're just doing it." And I thought, well, you're talking about all different kinds of things here, because he said he wants to make it as a musician. Anybody here who plays music is already making it as a musician. Anybody who can sit at home and enjoy the process of playing music, whether it's recording a song, whether it's practicing with a band, or whether it's just playing by yourself, that is, to me, success as a musician. It doesn't require a certain level of technical expertise. It doesn't require a certain level of monetary, business, or commercial success. It requires you playing music. So being a musician is actually quite easy, I think, when it comes to the technical side of it. Being a figure in show business is an entirely different situation. I'm very fortunate to work with an amazing manager. His name is Peter Golly, and he's based in Los Angeles, and he's worked with various groups. He has a new group right now he's working with called the Airborne Toxic Event. Has anyone heard of this group?
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, they're an incredible group, a unique group with a unique story. And another group he works with is called The Bravery. Have anyone heard of this group? Okay, great. And then before he started working with me, he was working with a group called Damone, who also used to be called Noel. And some of us have heard of them as well. And one thing we were talking about was sort of what it takes for a performer to want to engage in the promotional aspect of the business. A performer goes on stage at night and sings their heart out, gives all their energy, maybe even does a meeting with some fans or some industry folks after the show, and then the next morning, maybe they're expected to get up at 7 a.m. to go do a morning news show. This morning I went and did a Fox 23, Tulsa, Oklahoma's Fox 23. I did a little morning appearance there. I got to read the weather, which was really nice. There's going to be a high of 85 today. There's going to be some light showers. There's a low pressure zone rising up. I did the best I could. I had no idea what I was talking about, but it wasn't clear to me that the actual weatherman had any idea what he was talking about either, so I felt like we kind of could relate in that way. Anyway, we were talking about what it takes to sort of desire that extra level of work. You can go throughout your life being a musician who plays music. You can go throughout your life being a musician who plays music in a very public, commercially successful way. But that's still very different from someone who is an entertainer or who is in show business. And I think we can all help ourselves if we declare or determine whether we're interested in being musicians, entertainers, or in show business.